Do we want to get started or, okay, I guess we're getting started, calling this meeting to order. Welcome to Menifee Marketing Meeting for March. And if we all want to do that Pledge of Allegiance really quick, I'm just going to stand up and ready to begin. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible,
with
with
liberty and
justice
justice
for all.
Thank you. Okay, and housekeeping notes. There's not a whole ton of us usually, so just raise your hand if you want to talk, and we can. Yeah, I don't think that's a big deal with us. We're only just a handful. Anybody brand new to the meeting? If you want to introduce yourself. I don't think so. It looks like everybody has been here before. Hi, Tracy. Okay. So let's move it right along.
Good morning. Sorry, I'm getting set up.
That's okay. Okay, Gordon.
All right.
We're going to switch it over to you. Wendy, I believe he wants to share his screen. I don't see Wendy. Oh, there you are. Okay, I think we got you.
Okay, so let's see. Okay, so you should be seeing my presentation. And since this is such a small group, don't feel afraid to ask me questions as we go. Normally I would ask for them at the end. But like I said, such a small group, I think we can get through this pretty quickly. It won't take up too much of your time. My name is Gordon Clark. I am one of the real estate advertising reps at the Southern California News Group. And I'm here to talk about one of our divisions called the Inland Empire News Group, which covers the press enterprise, the daily bulletin, which kind of goes out into, whoops, let me get this pointer working, into this area here, Pomona, Upland, Ontario, Chino Hills. And then we also have the San Bernardino Sun, which covers this area here. We also have the Redlands Daily Facts. That's a relatively small paper as far as distribution, so I'm not going to dwell on that too much. What I am going to do is talk about these three papers, because one of the things we did during COVID is we kind of combined the advertising into all three newspapers. So when you advertise in one, you actually get all three papers as one buy. That saves us a little money on the production side of things and gets you more distribution in general. So one of the things I hear a lot is, who's reading the paper? Is anybody reading the paper? And pretty much we have about 60,000 people reading the paper on a daily basis. And on Sunday, that jumps up to 126,000. Saturday is another big day for us. It's going to be somewhere in the middle of that 61 to 126, because the daily number is an average of the entire week from Monday through Saturday. And Monday, the distribution is much less than the Saturday distribution. That translates into about 350,000 people reading us on Sunday and 170,000 people reading us on any average day. One of the things I like to remind people of is the newspaper is just really part of our audience. And just like everybody else, a bigger part of our audience now is online. And so if you look at the websites that we have that cover the Inland Empire area, we get about 2.4 million unique visitors every single month. And one of the things I really try to stress when I'm talking to my advertisers is this number here. 1.9 million of those visitors are on a mobile platform. And it says mobile and tablet, but I'd probably, if I had to guess, tablet makes up far less than 10% of that number. That translates into about 5.4 million page views. And all that, all those page views are available for you to advertise on, as well as the newspaper itself. This just gives you kind of a quick overview, idea of how we do as far as distribution compared to the LA Times. Generally, it's about a 3-to-1 ratio, and that's both daily and Sunday. So if you're just trying to reach people in the area, we're definitely the newspaper to go with. And I'm going to kind of just briefly go over some of the different options if you're not familiar with them. Like I said, our distribution is about 171,000 readers on Saturday. And those 3 newspapers I mentioned, the Press Enterprise, the San Bernardino Sun, and the Inland Valley Bulletin, you get them all in one buy. And so one of the popular places people advertise is our Saturday real estate section. You see some examples over here. We did start this new program called Home of the Week, where you wind up with this ad that's kind of designed to be a featured home, give it more of an MLS listing kind of feel instead of a typical ad. And that's something we just launched. It's $250 to be a Home of the Week. But we also have a lot of great advertising options within the section itself. So here are, I've got examples here of a half, quarter, and eighth of a page. Those are the 3 most common sizes we sell. We can also do a full page, of course, but most people, the half page does a pretty good trick if you really want a big ad. A half page is just about 10 inches by 10 inches to give you kind of a feel for it. And we created these special real estate agent rates, which were about 1/3 of our normal real estate rates. And so you see those here. And these are designed to allow individual agents to advertise where normally you'd pay somewhere in the neighborhood of $750 for an eighth of a page. As a real estate agent, you can get that for $240. So it's a lot cheaper. And of course, like I mentioned before, it goes into all 3 of those newspapers that we talked about earlier. Another option that I think is kind of unique, and this isn't limited to the real estate category. So for instance, one of the examples I have right here is a mortgage broker who is specializing in reverse mortgages, is we have these business card size ads that run in the main news section, not the real estate section. And what they're designed to do is get your name out there in front of people who are just reading the paper. They're very inexpensive. They're $60 a week. So a minimum of 4 weeks, that's $240. They're color. They're about 3.2 inches by 2 inches. So like I said, pretty much about the same size as a business card. And what they're designed to do is get your name out in front of the public. But also, I think this might be a great way to say, hey, I need listings. Because the real estate section itself is probably a great way to advertise if you want to promote a listing, or maybe you got a client asking you, hey, what are you doing to help me sell my ad? Real estate section. But this is a great way to get your name out there and let people know you're looking for listings. Or if you're in the mortgage industry, this is another way you can promote yourself. This gentleman, Patrick Steele, he's one of my clients. He just signed up for the rest of the year. It's doing so well for him, because at $240 a month, you don't need a lot of calls to make that turn into a good ROI. I talked a little bit about our websites earlier. This kind of breaks down, I had the overall traffic for the Inland Empire News Group, but this breaks down, for instance, the Press Enterprise gets about 3.1 million page views per month. And one of the things I really like about banners is that we can target these banners really a lot. You don't have to necessarily say, I want to be in the real estate section. That's actually not what I would recommend. Once again, right now, especially when most people are looking for more inventory, I recommend advertising in the news section, but geographically targeting it to the community that's of most interest to you. So you can literally tell me, I want my banner to just be seen around Menifee. I don't care that if somebody in San Bernardino sees my banner, it's not going to do me any good. I farm Menifee. And so we can sit there, and we might need to go a little bit around the border of Menifee, but we can target your a banner campaign. So just our readers on the Press Enterprise from Menifee in that area would see it. And I think that's a great way to advertise. Banner campaigns start as little as $200 a month. And so it's a great way to promote yourself. I got a couple examples here. I like this larger ad banner that Darlene Mays, she's a real estate agent I work with who is here in Orange County, and she works out of the Laguna Woods area. But she happened to pick up a listing in Mission Viejo. So she promoted this property and she got a huge response because one of the things we provide is reporting. And so she was really happy with that. Also working with a mortgage company, and they were advertising this banner. And this is an example of the banner appearing on mobile. And if you remember, I mentioned earlier just how much of our traffic comes from mobile platforms. If you haven't optimized your website toward mobile yet, it really should be a high priority for you because that is where just so many people are accessing the internet now. Some other online options people don't realize that we offer is we have email newsletters of all sorts. If you follow the Lakers, we have a Lakers newsletter. If you follow, if you're just into eating, our food critics, there's a Let's Eat newsletter, and boy, has that thing helped me gain some weight. And then the one I think is most relevant to you guys is we have a real estate newsletter. I'll be honest, it's a little Orange County centric, but not complete, but by no means completely, because our reporters, a lot of our real estate reporters came from Orange County. When the Orange County registers were purchased, they're now reporting on real estate in our entire area, which is pretty much all of what's normally called the greater Los Angeles area. But they do a great job reporting, and we're one of the few newspaper companies in the United States that still reports regularly on real estate. And so we have this newsletter that goes out 3 times a week that has real estate articles. Some of them are national, but a lot of them are homespun ones. And we have over 10,000 subscribers to this real estate newsletter. And what I think is so neat about it is you got to know that people who subscribe to real estate are probably somewhat in the industry. So if it makes sense for you to put your message out in front of the real estate industry, and that could be if you're a mortgage company, you do home inspections, this is a great place to advertise. And then there's 2 ad spots on the newsletter. It's $250 to get both those ad spots. So if you're interested in something like that, I can definitely help you with that. Digital advertising solutions. Obviously, we do banners. We talk a lot about mobile and web. But a lot of people don't know we also do a lot of advertising beyond our own website, in that we have a strategic partnership with AdTaxi. And AdTaxi is our parent company's online advertising company. And they are totally focused on digital from the beginning. And what we do there is we can help you if you want to do a search pay-per-click campaign, we can help you manage that if that's a little bit outside of your wheelhouse. We can help you set up the tracking to make sure it's working for you. And one of the things we really focus on is not just how much traffic we can build to your site, but what are those key performance indicators that are going to help you actually convert that to business. Doesn't matter if you get a lot of traffic to your site, if it doesn't make the phone ring or there's no way if somebody's contacting you, what use is it? We also help manage social media ad campaigns. We do programmatic advertising, and those are the kind of ads where, have you ever been on Amazon and you looked at a product, next thing you know, that product is following you all around the internet? We can help you do things like that. We do videos. You ever watched a streaming video and stuck having to watch the commercial? We can help you put a commercial together. We can help you create the commercial, and then we can help you broadcast the commercial all through the internet. So if you're looking to do a little bit more than just kind of the standard advertising, we're here to help you. And I've talked a little bit about digital, and I've talked a little bit about all of things we can do. But one of the reasons why is, one, to go with us maybe is, one, we're not looking to get into the real estate industry. We're not going to take your advertising dollars and try to take your business away from you. So we're here to help you get your message out and help you market yourself. I have it here. If somebody is interested in reaching Hispanic market, we have a great circulation for our Spanish language newspaper here in the Inland Empire. And well, that's actually pretty much it. I can go on and on and on, but I know your guys are busy. And that's why I wanted to give you a quick overview just to kind of make you go, oh, wow, I didn't know they could do that. If there's something you're looking to advertise that's a little bit out of the norm, please contact me and let's see if we can help each other out. I love to sit there and brainstorm and try to figure out ways to get your message out to the audience that makes most sense for you. Does anybody have any questions? No? All right, then I guess I am done.
All righty, thank you, Gordon. That was great. Yeah, I wasn't aware of all the digital options that you could have either. So that was pretty interesting. Yeah, I wondered how come I clicked on something and then for the next 6 months, it's all I see.
What's really bad is if I'm like shopping for my wife for Christmas and all of a sudden, you know, those things are following me around. One, why are you looking at bras? No, but, or why are you looking at women's shoes? You know, but yeah, but yes, that's called programmatic advertising. There's so many different things we can do with that. We can literally target mortgage shoppers in Menifee.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, you also had great pricing, especially to get all 3 of those newspapers with your advertising. That's a huge crowd to reach.
Yeah, it's a great area to reach too, especially, yes. you know, if you're really focused on, I know this group's, you know, the Menifee Caravan, if you're really focused on Menifee, that may not be the best way if all you want to do is reach that area. But if you're trying to reach Riverside County or the Inland Empire, great way to go. And then, of course, I'm part of the Southern California News Group. So if you want to reach Orange County, I can help you with the Orange County Register. If you want to reach Whittier, we have a paper there. We have papers in the San Gabriel Valley, San Fernando Valley, along the LA coastline. Pretty much any way you want to advertise, we can help you.
Perfect. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Great. All righty. I believe what's next here? Did you know? Okay. 247 closed transactions between February 22nd and February 28th, which I think we're still, as opposed to last year, we're still really strong. I don't know if it's just me, but I think I've noticed that there have begun to have maybe more listings on the market. You know, it seems like it's opening up a little bit. So people are ready to go for spring. So that's a good sign. Hopefully. It's been crazy.
Are you starting to see more listings? Because I know that's that's still something I'm getting a lot from agents is, you know, that just the amount of inventory coming on the market is just not there.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's slow. It's coming in slow, but I think it is building. From what I noticed doing MLS at the association is, it does seem to be like there are more listings, you know, coming onto the market. It seems like it's a little bit slow, but I think it's going to bust loose here in hopefully springtime. I'm no expert on the matter, but that's just what I'm kind of seeing. So we'll hope for that and see what happens. But yeah, definitely. I mean, those people that have been holding out for this year of COVID, I think COVID is on the decline from what some of the news media says anyway. So we'll see what happens. It looks like it is shaking loose a little bit though. So yay, hopefully. And we do have the C.A.R. update with the SRCAR directors recording. C.A.R. meetings just happened, I believe, last month. So we do have our directors kind of reporting on what happened at those meetings. So we'll go ahead and roll with that. And then we've got a couple listings on the virtual tour also after this recording.
Now what we've all been waiting for, yay! So as you guys may know that 3 times a year, we go to our C.A.R, which is California Association of Realtors, our state meetings. And as SRCAR directors, we've been tasked with the job of bringing back the information of the classes and all the meetings that we go to, because that's valuable information we want to share with our over 5,000 members. So I wish more of them were here today because we have some good stuff that we want to talk about. Is there anyone that would like to start out of my board of directors that are reporting that I have here?
Sure, I will.
Is that Jenna?
It
Thank you, Ms. President, Vice President Jenna Garza.
Hi, everyone. I am reporting on the Young Professionals Network. And they actually did a really great job. They only had 1 forum this time around. Usually they have 2 to 3 events. But what they focused on was bringing in some of our leadership and explaining how, if you get involved with C.A.R, how you can work your way up and how the committee selection process works, how the leadership process works, and how YPN's kind of, for some people, that beginning stepping stone. So they did a great job, because when you get into this, sometimes you don't know what the next step is and how to get positions that you want. So if anyone ever wants more information on that, I'd be happy to share with you, or you're always welcome to join. I share on our local YPN page and the C.A.R YPN page when they have events. But that's basically what they did, was just focus on how to step into leadership, the importance of it, and basically who to reach out to if you need help.
Awesome, Jenna. Thank you so much for being there. And thank you for all the work that you're doing too with YPN. It's like you're taking that and made it your baby and you're rolling with it, girl. So hats off to you. Who would like to go next? Okay, then I'll go next. Oh, I hear Terry talking, but you're muted. You want to go? I can go. It doesn't matter. Okay, so I'll go. So I sit on a couple of committees. The first one, I'm vice chair for business technology. And these are a couple of the documents that I wanted to show you, slides that I want to show you. So the very first one is, we had 3 speakers at our business technology meeting. And the first speaker was Jordan. Jordan is our chief economist, and he's very good at this. And he just wanted to share with us that C.A.R on their website has a wealth of knowledge for realtors when they're presenting offers, and also when they're sitting down for their listing presentation and working with buyers. So I have this screen up here to show to you, is because this is where you need to go for the C.A.R on the website. And you see the orange tab that says market data? That's where you're going to click on, and it'll help you with a plethora of reports. Next slide. So this one right here is a buyer demand index. This one right here is when you're trying to put together reports for your buyer to let them see what homes are getting multiple offers on them, and how you should strategically put your offer in, how you should strategically place your offer. And you know, a lot of times with our buyer, they're always like, well, no, I don't think the house is going to go for that much. These reports right here is what you can share with your buyer to show you what the market is paying for, what the buyers are paying for their properties. And the next slide. Now, this is the market competition. This one right here basically states that, and I'm going to try and read it because I can't see it. It basically states that if you are going basically for a presentation, you can show the statistics of what the market is doing. So this is just another report, but the bottom line, Jordan was basically telling us all of your statistics that you need, any type of reports to win over that buyer or that seller, C.A.R has it. So that's what he wanted us to know from that. Another thing, we had 2 other speakers, and I'll have a slide for this, but we had 2 other speakers that came. One of them was from this organization called Top Hap. tophap.com. So you guys can write that down. One of our presenters was talking about another way that you can research real estate with reports. But get this, this company, tophap.com, can do spreadsheets, can do graphs, but get this, they can focus, they can customize it to, if you're looking for a house, the buyer says, I want flat land, but then I want a quarter of a hill. I want to live not by any noise. I don't want a fire truck. I don't want any, I need a 2% noise reduction in the area. It's just that detail. And also if you want to say, well, you know what, I need to know, I want a house and pull all the permits on it. It can pull in the graph all the house in an area that have permits that's been pulled, the noise reduction, how many crimes. It just has a plethora of reports, statistic that you can pull, and you want to be the expert. So this is one of the websites that you can go to and play around with it and get some reports. Another speaker that we had was from climatecheck.com. Just one word, climatecheck.com. Now this one right here, it basically gives you reports checking the climate of the house that you're looking at. So I put in my address and you get a free report, and it told me that my house is an 88% drought risk, it's a 45% fire risk, and a 36% flood risk. So it talks about different other type of risks just by putting in an address. So that can help also when you're doing your presentation for the listing, especially with our new advisory forms for the hardening, that can help you also with that. So those are the two committees that I was a part of that I want to report on. And I wanted to basically touch based on the Professional Standards Committee, because I did go into that meeting. I was listening to a lot. I just wanted to share that they did agree to move forward with coming up with a peer-to-peer, what do they want to call it, committee. And basically this is a hotline, a peer-to-peer hotline, so that you will be able to call into this hotline number and ask questions. So they're looking for people to be on this. They don't know the time commitment that is going to be required, but the requirements are you need to be on the grievance committee at your local association, you need to be on professional standards, and you need to be recruited from the ombudsman. But there are some criteria that you need to follow. So if you're even just thinking about being a part of that hotline, or and a lot of it has to do with ethics, code of ethics, but if you do, just contact C.A.R. and then you can get the information for that. And that completes my report. I have more, but if people don't cover it, then I'll cover it, but Adam will probably cover the rest of it. So thank you. Who's next?
I'll go next.
Okay, Terry.
Mine's easy. She said Adam would cover everything else. I think that's pretty cool. I'm pretty much done. Thanks for attending. Let's let Adam rock and roll. Actually, I feel bad about following Denise. I should have gone first now that I saw her colorful slides and things, because I don't have any of those. So anyway, I was involved in a lot of committees as usual. Couple of the big ones that probably won't be reported on by anybody else. One is the Housing Affordability Fund, and I know you hear us talking about that all the time. We have a golf tournament every year. In fact, we have a golf tournament coming up, and I just kind of wanted to let you know what those funds went to this past, what we heard associations pitch and what they went to this last meeting set. First of all, I don't know how many of you know about it, but for about October of last year, we actually started a statewide program that was housing essentials. And I don't know if any of you got involved in that. I know some of the realtors in the area did, but I'm not sure if any of you on the call did. But that's a program where they gave $1,200 worth of essential, like fix-it items or maybe appliances or something similar to the one that we did with C.A.R. a couple of years ago. They decided to take that program statewide. They thought it worked so well. And they did take it statewide. We dedicated $500,000 to it. And that was for $1,200 for each person that applied. And we went through that in about a month. So there were a lot of people that applied for it, but it did help 400 families in the state of California. And hopefully some of them were ours here. So, you know, when we beg for money or when we have golf tournaments or some of these other things we do, it's actually going to help either the state or local communities all over. As far as local communities go, the Inland Gateway Association was given a $25,000 grant for home inspections. Evidently, home inspections is not a big thing up there. I don't know. I don't work Corona, Norco area very much, but I guess people don't quite understand how it works and things, and a lot of people are going without them. So they're trying to encourage those. They will pay for home inspections. If any of you happen to sell a house up in what would be the Inland Gateway area, talk to the Inland Gateway Association and see if you can be the recipient of almost a free home inspection, I guess, because they're giving about $400 per person. Not sure what they're costing over there, but about $400 is what they're giving out. We also gave the California Desert $50,000 for buyer's closing cost up to $2,000 per person. They have a few lenders that have gotten on board with some buyer closing cost options, and they've already started that. And Tuolumne County, I know we don't do very much up there, but you might expect that one of the things they've been having issues with is extreme increases in insurance because of all the fires they've had throughout the county. A lot of the fires that were going on in Northern California and things were up through that area. And so they were given a $50,000 grant to help first-time home buyers with their initial insurance premiums and things, just to try to help them get through what they've been going through already. So when we talk about HAF and Housing Affordability Fund, it is going every single year. We probably spend, I would say, somewhere in the neighborhood of anywhere from $300,000 to $1 million, depending on whether or not we have a statewide program. But that money all comes from us. So when we have the programs, like we've got a golf tournament coming up before too awfully long, and that money will be dedicated. I think we're having 2 of them this year. One will be dedicated to HAF, the other will be dedicated to scholarships. So we appreciate everybody's participation in those when they come up. Taxation and government finance. It's another one of the committees that I sit on as a voting member. We had one thing that drew a lot of attention. I know that you probably don't all know about ACA 1. That's an assembly constitutional amendment, ACA 1, but it's trying to voting requirement right now to take care of things like bonds and stuff is right now it's a 2/3 vote. And there are some legislators that are trying to get that reduced to 55%. And I don't know where 55% comes in. I don't know why 55% is different than 51%. I mean, a majority is a majority, but 55, I guess they figured the majority plus a couple just to make sure they were on the right track. Anyway, they were trying to get those things amended. They're trying to get that voting thing amended from 2/3 to 55. And actually we're opposing that in general. We took an oppose unless amended because we are willing to, when I say we, I'm talking about C.A.R. and realtors, we are willing to take a look at a couple of things that directly affect affordable housing or infrastructure, but we're not interested in all the other things that it could go towards. We don't want to change the entire voting system to be a 55% as opposed to 2/3. And so currently we are opposing that. And I got a bunch of them I could cover. Maybe I'll do what Denise just did. And if there's things that don't get covered by other people, because we do have some overlap. For instance, Adam with his and Walter both, I see them both on there. And with the stuff they do in GAD, they have a lot of the action items with regards to support and non-support for assembly. So I think I will push the microphone to them. And if it's something that doesn't get covered, then we'll come back.
Thank you so much, Terry, President Terry, for your report. Who would like to go next that's here?
Do you want me to go before Adam and Walter?
Sure, go ahead.
Because I'll make it short and sweet.
Thank
So-
you, Pauline.
I'm on a couple committees, but I am vice chair on the Reimagine committee, which is last year we did the virtual event where we have the conference and expo. And this year they are saying at the moment that we are going to try to do it live in person in Anaheim from October 12th through the 14th. And then since the virtual event was successful, they're thinking about and probably going to do 2 weeks later after the live event, a virtual portion of the event as well. So as it stands now, they are planning to try to be live, and we'll see how things move forward. But I also just wanted to let you know, C.A.R. is also doing 2 virtual summits. They've never done this before, so they're adding to your education. So the virtual summit, the first one is April 14th, and it's going to be all about technology from 9 to 4. This is all free to you. And then the second virtual summit event will be about branding, which is August 25th. So, and then you'll have October. So you get a bunch of learning opportunities. So, and that's it.
Thank you so much for that, Pauline. And I forgot to mention, I also sit on MLS policy, and we did have an action item. Once this is approved by NAR for C.A.R. to model the MLS rule be revised to comply with newly mandated NAR policy by adding a rule addressing fair housing. This was put in place to reduce the number of citations triggering a hearing regarding responsible brokers to be notified of violations and attend such hearings and subscribe and regarding those 2 policies, model MLS rule and the model citation policy. So this is something that was voted to move forward to NAR. So once they approve it, then C.A.R. will be adopting a model rule for MLS. So that's something new that we approve. Okay, who else on here? I see Walter and I see Adam. Who wants to go first?
Oh, Adam's covering this area. I'll be covering it again in the HEMT.
Okay, did we have, I don't see Curtis here from Forms. Okay. Okay, who wants to go next?
Okay, I can go, Denise.
Okay, Adam, thank you.
So a couple of updates. Some of these are actual positions. The legislative session for introduction of bills closed last week. There were 2,471 new bills introduced as of last Friday, and probably we'll see a couple more trail in. Some of those are being still assigned out, and C.A.R. is starting to take positions on these bills. If you're unfamiliar with the positions, we can support, we can oppose, we can do, like Terry mentioned, the one oppose as amended, we could watch. So we're just starting to kind of evaluate where everything's at. So a couple of those just to give you an update on. One of those is SB 83. And this is a position, or excuse me, a measure that would seek to establish a program aimed at buying out coastal homeowners willing to sell their property. Essentially a government program that would allow cities and municipalities to purchase properties from the coastal area that might not otherwise be able to be sold. A lot of discussion and some potential controversy on that. So for now, C.A.R. has chosen to take a watch position. By doing a watch position, also, it allows us to have a seat at the table to be part of the discussion and then continue to monitor that as it moves through the process. So that will probably come back, but again, that's at SB 83. There's another ballot proposition that we will see coming up, which essentially requires state regulations to reduce plastic waste, tax producers of single-use plastics, and fund recycling and environmental programs. Much like the title would indicate there, we decided that was not real estate related, so no formal position from us on that. Let's see, Terry covered the one from that committee. Here's another one, C.A.R. to sponsor legislation that states whenever any statute requires a seller in a real estate transaction to deliver to the buyer in that transaction any disclosure, notice, advisory, or other document, that requirement shall only apply to a real estate transaction where, unless otherwise stated in the bill, the purchase and sale agreement between the parties is ratified on or after the effective date of the legislation. So let's put that in layman's terms to make it a little bit simpler. If you open up escrow, say in December, and a new form is now required as of January 1st, you're probably advised to make any disclosures that you can necessary anyway. But under this legislation, should it get picked up and passed, you would not be required to provide that new disclosure unless it was after that date. So if you started a new transaction after January 1, you would have to disclose it. But if you started it prior, you would not. Again, a lot of discussion on that, really, with disclosure and what's the smart way to get that information out. I think most of us would probably disclose anyway, but there was some question on what the law actually said we needed to do. The other thing I will mention, and maybe Denise will go into it further, I don't want to step on her toes, but one of the hot topics really across the country and from C.A.R. and N.E.R. is fair housing and diversity. There's been a lot of discussion about that. C.A.R. actually will be creating 3 new committees at the state level. One of those is the Fair Housing Policy Committee. One will be a diversity committee, and one will be a Fair Housing and Diversity Forum. So 3 new meetings that will be happening at the C.A.R. level. They have their mission statements. If you're interested, I can forward those over to you. But just know that that is something that C.A.R. is also watching and will be participating in as well. Denise, I don't know if you were going to go into that any further, so I don't want to step too much on those toes.
No, you're good. You're good.
So, and I think as far as action items, oh, there's another one, sorry, that came out of transaction. So that C.A.R. in conjunction with N.E.R. support appraisal bifurcation, which is known as a hybrid appraisal. You guys might be seeing that. Any lenders on might be able to jump in if they have any comments or questions on that. But essentially, if you're going to have either an inspection, a property inspection waiver, or if you're going to have a limited appraisal versus a full appraisal, C.A.R. and N.E.R. are both supporting that. With the way technology is being developed, they're finding there's a lot of useful data that they can use to help in those particular transactions. And then also that C.A.R. in conjunction with N.E.R. are supporting the elimination of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac's risk-based pricing. Something we're always kind of watching the GSEs, and we'll be working with N.E.R. to support the elimination of that. And I think that's all I had, unless there's any specific questions back from C.A.R.
Hi, everyone. So we're going to make the link to that available in the chat because it was just kind of going to go a little bit too long, I think, for most of us. But it's available. It's just all of the reports on the C.A.R. directors meetings. And with that, I think we'll just move along to what's next. Wendy, do we have the properties or? Yep, today's properties. I think, I mean, we have 2, but I think only Kim is here. Kim Tees. Upcoming events. Looks like top producer tech tips is coming up. Property management task force meeting. If any of you do property management, that's a really great, we have a property management meeting once a month, and that is a really great resource for anybody, because I know that, I mean, through this COVID thing, it's very confusing with rentals and forms and legalities. And so that's always, I mean, if you know anyone who is a property manager or, does a lot of lease listings, you might want to have them call us and sign up for that. But Legal Town Hall, Friday, March 12th. I believe that's a 3-hour legal town hall. That's going to be very interesting, as they all are. We're going to have, of course, John Giardinelli, who's very entertaining as well as full of knowledge. Jeff Smetana from CRMLS and Brandon Butler from California Department of Employment and Housing. So that's going to be super interesting. I'm going to try to break away for that myself. All of those are super interesting. C.A.R. Scholarship Foundation, if you know anyone who is, I believe, a senior this year, graduating in 2021, sign them up. Sign them up for a scholarship foundation. I believe we give, I think it's around $1,000.
It's $1,000, and yes, they just opened up the application process.
Awesome, awesome. So we do give out a bunch of those every year, and it's really helpful to those people who are needing it. And that's where, when you contribute that $5, when you pay your dues every year, your annual dues, that $5 that's what this is. So, and you can always contribute more than $5 if you want to, but it's very worthwhile, obviously. So what is next? Leadership Academy. If you haven't signed up for one of these classes, I heard they're very, very good. Motivational, but also helpful in how you present yourself to the world. So we have that March 26th from 9 to 10:30. It's $25, and you can sign up online or give us a call. Town crier. Did we have anything for that? No? Okay. All right, I think we're done. If you want to watch the rest of that, no. Well, if you would like to watch the rest of it, I believe Wendy has put the link in the little chat section here. You can go in and see the rest of the reports from the C.A.R. meetings. It seemed very, very lengthy. I believe it's 27 minutes, Wendy was saying. So, I mean, you can scoot it right along to where we dropped off if you want to go ahead and watch the rest of it. But I want to thank you all for coming. I think our meetings from here on out are actually going to have more people, because more listings are coming into the market, and they are seeming to sit maybe a skinny minute longer. So hopefully next month we're going to have a bigger meeting with more listings. I really think that's we're on the back on the upswing for that. So thank you for coming. It was nice to see everybody. Thank you, Kim, for putting your listing out there. Everybody have a great day.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, you too.
All righty.
Have a good day.
Okay, bye. Thank you.